I'm going to talk about some things in an email from Nicole. And hi Nicole, sorry it's taking so long to get to your email. There's a lot of stuff in there. So Nicole is from Australia and she did fabulous in her first figure competition. I'll stick a little picture up of her at the end of this tape so you can see what she looks like. She looks great. So, and I just want to disclose here that I have no knowledge of how they do figure competitions in Australia. I'm not familiar with that. My experience has been obviously in the United States with NPC, and I'm familiar with IFBB, although I'm not part of the IFBB as of yet. I know that I'm not sure exactly what they're looking for necessarily in Australia, but I do know how to put on muscle for females and make it look good and get good conditioning. So I know they're into that, so that's a good thing. So Nicole, in your email there's several things that you address, but reading through it and just to get everybody up to speed on Nicole's situation briefly, she laid out her typical program, what her goal is. She wants to put on more muscle, and she's been getting some diet advice, some of it very good. Some of it I would have a different opinion on some of it, which I'm going to go into here. Being that she wants to put on muscle, I'll just hit on this briefly. It was suggested to her that she do work several muscle groups twice a week, and like to work legs twice a week and so on and so forth, and then to increase the intensity of the workouts. So you hit it harder and faster, incorporating supersets so you can get through the workout faster. Working a muscle group twice a week completely depends on your recovery. So there's a balance point there, in my opinion. And the balance point is, if you're able to work legs twice a week, are you working legs hard enough the first time? If it should take you, if you're really wanting to improve your legs, it should take you a good 4 or 5 days to recover. And then on that 6th day, technically, yeah, you're working your legs again in the same week, but it's going to stagger throughout the week. So you can't say every Monday and Thursday I'm going to work legs, because it totally depends on how well you recover. You don't want to hit a muscle group again unless and until it's fully recovered. So there would be my advice there. And there's some muscle groups that naturally, I think, recover faster. Well, some because of muscle fiber types, like your abs and your calves, they're going to recover very quickly. And shoulders can usually recover pretty quickly too. So I'll have girls, especially since shoulders are such a big issue for figure gals, I'll have girls work shoulders twice a week. But that's not a free pass to say, since you're working them twice, you can work them lighter. No, I want it hard. I want you to really push yourself in the gym, and that's another thing talking about here. Supersets, I would encourage you to use supersets occasionally, like every 3rd or 4th week, to challenge the muscle in a different way to help stimulate muscle growth. Not just for the fact of saving time in the gym. Yeah, you'll notice that your superset days you're working really hard and it does kind of cut down on the time, but the main reason for doing the superset is to shock that muscle into using itself differently and asking more of it in a different capacity. So that's going to contribute to muscle gains as well. For building muscle, what I like to do is mark how much weight that I'm lifting. So for example, if I'm going to sit down and do shoulder presses with 45-pound dumbbells, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to sit down in a Roman chair, I'm going to do a press, and I'm going to aim for 10 reps my first set out the gate. So you're going to get that 10th rep. That 10th rep for me is going to be a bit of a challenge there at the end. I don't need a spot on my first set, but it's a little bit of a challenge, but I can get the 10th rep done. And then I'm going to wait 30 seconds to recover, only 30 seconds, and then I'm going to pick up those same dumbbells and say this time, my second set out, I only get 8 reps. and then I'm going to put down those dumbbells. I'm going to time my recovery for 30 seconds. I'm going to do it again, and this set I dropped down to 4. And then I'm going to do the same thing again, 30-second rest, pick up those dumbbells again, and I can just barely put out 2 reps. Well, I'm going to record that I did that many reps for each set. Then I'm going to give that muscle group plenty of time to recover, and when I go to hit those shoulders again, I'm going to do that same exercise. This is a period of about 3 weeks, so that you're going to have to change up your exercises at least by then. But the next time I go to do that same exercise, I might notice, because I wrote down the previous week, that I'm getting an extra rep in each set. Well, my first set out I'm going 10, my second set, see now I'm 9, my third set drops to 6, fourth set is 2. Well, there's some increase in my rep, my ability to rep out more. Over a period of time, that increase in the ability for you to push more reps and challenge yourself with weight is going to translate into muscle growth if you have the nutrition to back it up. So if I'm noticing, and then by my third week, my first set of 10 is too easy, so I have to up it to 50s, let's say, and I do 50-pound dumbbells, and I just barely get the 10th rep out on my first set. My second set plummets, and I've got 3, let's say. I'm going to wait 30 seconds. My next one out, I can barely push 1. Okay, I might have overdone it a little bit. I might have to stick with the 45s again for their week. See how the change happens? So if you can mark from week to week to week your increase in reps, and then when it starts to drop, or when your reps start to raise so much that you increase the weight, if you mark that from week to week and you see on paper that your reps are going up, you're getting stronger and stronger, and you're staying within that 8 to 10 rep range with a 30-second rest for a period of time during this muscle growth phase, it's going to translate to muscle growth. You're going to see much muscle hypertrophy there. It will happen for you. And then after that 3 weeks of, say, doing that same thing, then you're going to throw in a superset. Do something different for your muscles. And then when you get off that superset, and the following week, you're going to change up your exercises. So you're not going to sit down and do, a dumbbell press. You're going to do something else.